What is NPK? Can you hear me clearly? I have a feeling that James is not hearing me very clearly, but so I'll come back to you, Nicholas. Perhaps you can tell us what this NPK you mentioned is all about.
Okay, Olive, to mention about the NPK, NPK stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, so those are the chemical symbols?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
All right. So how does it make Mafuno fertilizer better than any other product out there?
Yeah.
And well, why should farmers purchase that as opposed to, I had a farmer there, I think you were out in the field speaking to your consumers, and one farmer was saying he previously used to use dung. And now he uses Mafuno and his yield has increased. So what is it about that NPK in your fertilizer that makes it superior? NPK,
as I mentioned earlier, stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. There was a farmer who normally used the other fertilizer, that is DAP. DAP has ammonium acid, which erode soil. So to bring back that that soil that has been eroded, we come up with NPK, which is free from acidity. Yes.
Okay. So is that acidity bad for crops?
Yes, yes.
In what way?
Come up again.
In what way is that acidity bad for crops?
It is bad because it gets rid of nitrogen, and nitrogen, it is the main component that is being used by the plant in order to produce a high yield.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, James, I hope you can hear me clearly now. You're a supervisor, and perhaps because Nicholas deals with sales, perhaps you can delve a little bit deeper into what makes Mafuno superior. Nicholas says it's the NPK and not DAP. So why is NPK preferable to, is it DAP or DAP?
Yeah, NPK Mafuno fertilizer is more important to use than the DAP because DAP has a lot of acid, and when it's used for a long time, the yield remains constant or reduces. But if you use Mafuno blending, it increases the yield. It also improves the soil fertility, and
all right, and increases yield by what? Did I hear 30%?
Yeah, it increases by 40% yield.
Oh, 40%?
Yeah, 40%.
Oh, that's fantastic. How is it better than using, chicken droppings? Like I mentioned, one farmer I heard in the videos you provided talk about dung. Actually, I think we should play that for you once James responds to this question so that you're also on the same page. So James, why is it preferable, let's say, to chicken? Why shouldn't I use chicken droppings? Why shouldn't I use the remains of my produce after I go to the market? Why should I use Mafuno fertilizer as opposed to those organic alternatives?
You see, using those other fertilizers, our Mafuno blending is specific for specific crop. Now, when you use those dumping and waste of chicken and cows, the soil testing first, we have not tested the region, and we don't know how which fertilizer to use there. Okay. We are just using hen oil, but Mafuno fertilizer, we first do the testing of the soil, and we formulate the formulations for the fertilizer and apply accordingly.
Okay, so you can't use, like, it's not a product that applies across the board. It depends on the type of soil, I assume, and the type of crop. But before we delve into that, let's take a look at what some farmers had to say to Nicholas when he was up and about.
Okay.
Mark, if we could play that video of those farmers, please.
Bwana Anderson, unaweza mwambia nini yule mkulima mwingine kwa sababu mimi naona unatarajia kitu mzuri.
Can we get the farmer in because I'm struggling here, eh? If we can mic Lawrence, there's another guy in studio who's a farmer. If we can mic him, if possible, perhaps he'll help bring in a different perspective. Aya, angalia what's up.
kinyesi cha ng'ombe. After juzi nikiangalia television,
hata kama ni 5th floor,
nikapata kuna watu wana advertise Mafuno mbolea. Unaona vile iko, naona mwaka hii mafuno yangu naweza pata from average from 30 mpaka 40 per acre, kulingana na vile unaona.
Nicholas, where were those farmers you spoke to?
The first one that who planted maize, he's at Bomet County. Yeah, that farmer, he was explaining to me on how he normally used the other fertilizer, like the one for cows and also chicken droppings also. So, but I found that guy, he has done good, and I advise him. I advise him to use more fertilizer, because the other time he used fertilizer, that is Mafuno fertilizer.
All right. Nicholas, you're the regional manager, so where is Mafuno available?
Our Mafuno fertilizer is available like all over the country, that is Kenya. So we can find, we have our appointed distributors who normally distribute our fertilizer. We have, we partner ourselves also with the National Cereals and Produce Board. We have KFA, we have KNTC, we have 1 Acre Fund, we have other agro dealers, all the agro dealers in Kenya. They have our product, that is Mafuno fertilizer.
Okay,
yeah.
So James, perhaps you could tell us why fertilizer is so important in crop production.
Yeah, it is important because it increases the yield, and it's also, Mafuno fertilizer is also available to most of the farmers in the region, and it is available in an affordable packaging.
All right, but why, if you're speaking to a farmer, I'm so sorry,
yeah,
but if you're speaking to a farmer and you're telling him why it's important for him to use fertilizer, how would you put that point across to him? I get that Mafuno is available across the country, but why is it important for farmers to utilize fertilizer in crop production?
Because it increases the production and the yield. If you use Mafuno fertilizer than the DAP, there are 3 major nutrients present in Mafuno blending, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now the crop, like in nitrogen, the crop will grow fast when you use urea, and the roots will be strong and will assist in absorbing the water and the nutrients from the soil.
Okay, so and then also, why isn't it important to carry out soil testing? You mentioned that. You said it's not a one-size-fits-all, so why is it important to carry out soil testing?
Yeah, it is important to test the soil before you start using fertilizer, Mafuno fertilizer, because it's we have so many types of the fertilizer depending on the region. Yeah, you see, for example, if somebody needs to plant Mafuno planting, you cannot use the same formulation with the Mafuno tea. So we have to come and collect the soil for testing. Then now we formulate the fertilizer accordingly.
Okay, so what makes one type of soil distinct from another type of soil?
Sorry?
What makes one type of soil distinct from another type of soil?
Depending on how much you have used the other fertilizers, and if you want to change from one crop to another.
And is it possible to use too much fertilizer, or because Mafuno is not as acidic as DAP, then that is not so much a concern?
No, it is not required to use a lot of it. There is a ratio and a timing for putting it or applying it to the crops.
Okay, so do you provide all this support to the farmer,
we support
this information?
all the supplying bags, we print everything and it's shown there.
Okay.
So farmers are advised to clearly read the instructions accordingly.
Oh, so they read it for themselves?
Yeah, we advise them by the time we are testing the soil and giving them the results. And also, we make sure we print everything we have talked to them. in the bags.
Okay, Nicholas, perhaps as a regional sales manager, you could walk us through this process from the farmer deciding that he wants to increase his yields by what James told us is 40%, and he decides he wants to use Mafuno fertilizer. Where does he start? Walk us through that process.
First of all, farmer, it depends what crop he wanted to plant. Maybe I can start with the one who normally plant maize. Our ratio, Mafuno planting ratio, we advise farmers to use 75 kilos to 100 kilos. Not more than that. If you use more than that, it will erode also the soil.
Oh, and that is over, over what acreage, over what period of time?
Per one season, we normally use 1 acre consume 75 to 100 kilos. That is for planting. Yes.
Okay.
That is what we normally advise farmers to maybe to adhere with that ratio.
All right. Yeah. And you put in the fertilizer at the point at which you're putting the seed in the ground as a crop farmer? Or at what point? Sorry? At what point do you put in the fertilizer?
We put up, you see here, after each and every harvesting season, you understand that crops normally takes a lot of nutrients in the soil. So it is advisable for the farmers to, in order to reduce or to bring back that nutrients in the soil, we advise them to use a fertilizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like now walk me through the process. I am a farmer, I'm a maize farmer, right? You've told me how much I need per acreage. So where do I go? Is there to an agrovet, to a depot? You are listing those places.
Yes.
Let's say I'm in Bomet. Where does the farmer in Bomet go?
Maybe in Bomet, I can advise the farmer who is in Bomet to visit National Cereals and Produce Board. I also visit small agrovet and KFA also.
All right.
Our product is available there.
Okay, so do they bring a vial of their soil, or do you go to their farm? How does it work?
There are some farmers who really do a lot of farming, number of acres. So if they wanted us to do a soil testing, we are available, and our labs are open 24/7.
And how do they reach you?
On the ground, we have. Let's say in South Rift and South Nyanza, I'm the one who is handling that region. We have Central Kenya. We have another regional sales manager by the name John. In North Rift and Western Kenya, we have John Keter also. He is handling that region. And we have those teams, they normally visit the farmers and also the agrovet, so they can give their advice.
That's how you're able to reach out to them. All right, we'll be hearing from a farmer in a little bit on what his experience with Mafuno fertilizer is. James, does the nature of soil change over time?
Yeah, soil can change from time to time, so there is a need to test at least yearly before the planting and after.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. If you could take it again.
Yeah, there is a need for soil testing because it can change from time to time depending on how much you have grown, you have continuously been doing the same crop for several years. So there is a need for change from time to time so that the soil reduces the acid which it might have occurred.
Okay, and there are times you meet farmers and you tell them this is perhaps not the best crop for your soil. Perhaps you should consider, as sort of an extension service, because Nicholas has told us you actually go out actively into the farms, providing an extension service of sorts. Do you ever go out and advise a farmer that perhaps it's not the best crop for this type of soil? If you would like to increase your yield, perhaps consider this crop?
Yeah, we advise them when they come for collections in the factory. We advise them to use the fertilizer according to the requirement. You cannot put more or less. And you are advised on the timing for putting the fertilizer. All
right, Nicholas, perhaps you could tell us what the reception has been to Mafuno fertilizer in the region. You said you deal with the South Rift and Nyanza?
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw you out and about meeting the farmers. What has the reception been?
Okay, Olive, What I can say, for example, in the side of Kericho, we did a demonstration in a tea farm, in a tea factory called Kabianga. That factory plants a lot of tea, and the feedback was positive. The kilos increased from a farmer used to maybe to get maybe 300 kilos. It increased to 350. So in that side of Kericho, we did a demo, and it was a perfect one, and it proved that Mafuno fertilizer is more superior than the other because of the yield that the farmers receive.
Okay, speaking of superiority, perhaps you could also tell us how you ensure quality. What are your quality controls?
We have a quality control team in our factory who normally pick some samples and take to the lab. After picking the sample and take to the lab, they are the one who are giving us the go-ahead. They are giving the production manager the go-ahead and say, this is the right quality that we can produce maybe Mafuno planting, and this is for Mafuno tea. Also, we have our own labs. Yeah.
So there is, okay, so that's how you ensure quality of your product.
Yeah.
James, perhaps you can tell us in your experience, why is the world moving towards blends such as that of Mafuno, and I suppose NPK to be specific?
First, because our fertilizer is practical and economical to farmers. That is, you can get the fertilizer from as low as your farm is, because it has different packaging. Secondly, it is an NPK fertilizer that contains the all the 3 basic micronutrients, that is nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus.
All right. Now we have, as I mentioned, a farmer on board. His name is Lawrence Nyango. See, Lawrence, what do you farm?
Hello, thank you. Yeah, I'm here like a farmer to display what Mafuno has done to me.
All right. What product? I mean, what produce? What do you farm?
Okay,
is it maize,
me as a farmer, I do wheat farming. Okay, depending on the location and the demand of the production. Okay, I do tea farming.
Wait, did you say wheat or tea?
Tea.
Tea farming?
Yeah.
Where do you tea?
I do it in Kisii.
In Kisii?
Yeah.
Oh, what sort of acreage are we talking about?
Sorry?
What sort of acreage are we talking about?
Yeah, I have 4 acres.
Oh, and how long ago did you start?
I've been there for like now 4 years.
I was in Kisii the other day for Mashujaa Day. I wonder I didn't run into you. So tell me about your experience. How you said you've been doing it for how many years?
Sorry?
How many years have you been farming tea?
For 4 years now.
4 years. So why did you get into it?
Sorry?
Why did you get into tea farming?
Okay, because of the favorable climate in Kisii. And I got to myself that I have a big land. You know, in Kisii we have a problem with the land. So I was very lucky to have that 4 acres.
Okay, so so what has been your experience in those 4 years? Were you farming before then?
No, but my parents used to do there. This kind of farming I do inherited from my parents.
All right.
Yeah.
So have you found that the quality of the soil has proven integral to your tea farming?
Yeah, what normally they do, we have the experts on the ground, the agricultural extension officers, and we have those staff from the KDTA, those factories. They come on the ground and they advise the farmers. So we are comfortable.
Okay, so you have found that it's very important that to have nutrients in the soil. So how long ago did you start using Mafuno?
Mafuno is recently. Okay, what happened there before, the KTTA used to supply us fertilizer, but nowadays they don't. They give us a supplies. But now we are buying ourselves. So we find Mafuno is very affordable to our place. When you go to the nearest stores, still is available with of all the packages from 1 kg yeah, to 50 kgs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're happy with the product?
We are very
I take
happy.
it. All right.
Actually, we are celebrating, but like this season,
All right.
yeah, it has done wonders.
Okay, perhaps Nicholas, you could tell us, do you manufacture the fertilizer here in Kenya or abroad?
Yeah, we manufacture, we blend our fertilizer at the river, but the raw material we source from Europe, North America, and Asia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for expansion so that farmers, for those who are not familiar with the product, so that farmers such as Lawrence are able to access your product?
As a management, we are planning to stock or to build by February. We'll be having a very big warehouse in Nakuru, that is Alga, where our sister company is, that is National Cement Company Limited. So we are planning now to expand and to take our fertilizer to that place, so that for those farmers who are in Western Kenya, Nyanza and South Rift and Rift Valley region, they can access easily our fertilizer in Salga. Yeah.
Okay, so the blending is done here.
The blending is done, is being, we do blending in the river, and we took the fertilizer to Nakuru, our depot.
So to raise awareness, are you planning or do you carry out field days and exhibitions?
Yes, we do. Even last time we did in Eldoret. We did also in this side of Kericho. Yeah, we did. And it was good.
All right, so what are your plans for the next season?
Our team are on the ground. We are planning now to educate farmers and to tell farmers the importance of using Mafuno fertilizer rather than the other fertilizer.
Okay, so I mean, fertilizer has been a particularly prickly topic in Kenya for farmers over the years. So how long has Mafuno been in the market, and what inspired Maisha Minerals and Fertilizer to get into that business?
Olive, for your information, you have to understand that Maisha Minerals and Fertilizer acquires Mafuno brand from ARM Cement. Yeah, last year. And ARM Cement has been in agricultural business for the last 15 years. So after acquiring the Mafuno fertilizer, and I can add another. We acquire the Mafuno fertilizer, and it has our core products are industrial business and Mafuno brand. After acquiring that, we realized that most of the farmers, they really like Mafuno. And we say that we are not going to let them down because we produce a quality fertilizer.
Okay. Yeah. Lawrence, I'll come back to you. Are there any, I don't know, blends perhaps that you'd advise Mafuno to introduce into the market?
Sorry?
Given your experience, are there any specific blends that you'd advise Mafuno to introduce to the market, perhaps?
For now, I don't see any because, okay, it's doing well with the blend they have, for example, for that Mafuno tea. It's doing very well. So I've not seen any addition on top.
Okay, yeah. So no areas for improvement?
Sorry? For the areas?
You're happy even with the packaging sizes. What was it, Nicholas? 1 kg?
1 kg is available 5, 10, 25, up to 50.
All right.
They were very comfortable with that.
You're comfortable with that?
Yeah.
All right. So you're happy with the situation now where you're able to purchase your own affordable fertilizer as opposed to depending on government agencies?
Maybe they reduce now the price. What they can do is to reduce the price so it can become affordable to all farmers.
Okay, but I'm sure it's every Kenyan's wish to have everything reduced, but of course, the market determines the prices. Perhaps I can bring you back in, James. Are you able to alter the form? When I was asking him about blends, are you able to alter the formulation to suit specific regions?
Yeah,
because Nicholas mentioned foray into, is it Nakuru? Nicholas?
Yes.
Yeah. So are you able to alter the formulation to make it region specific?
Yeah, we are able, after we visit the place and do some soil testings, because in Athi River what we do already has been done for several years, and we are able to supply to the customers.
So you've been doing this a good number of years?
Yeah, we have been doing it a number of years.
All right.
And we hope to do so in the future.
Okay. Nicholas, you found these packaging sizes that you've mentioned best suited to the market, the Kenyan market?
Yes. You see here we have small farmers who can even do a very small one garden, and they require 1 kilo. They don't require a big one that is 50 kilos. So we decided as Mafuno, we wanted to reach each and every person. And reaching that each and every person, we produce 1 kg, 10 kg, 25 kg, and 50 kg. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the relationship between cement and fertilizer? Is it because of accessibility to minerals?
I've mentioned earlier, Oliver, that National Cement Company purchases all its assets of ARM cement and unassets.
Yes, you told me that. I'm asking.
Yes.
Is it the technology, or why is it that you always hear about cement companies and fertilizer? Is it because you're able to access the minerals easier?
Yeah, because we can access the mineral easier, and we wanted to satisfy each and every farmer, starting from building the houses, because we produce cement, we produce chumas, we produce also mapati. So we wanted each and every farmer to be comfortable with the Defke groups of company. Okay. That is a subsidiary company. That is Maisha Minerals is a subsidiary company.
So why do you import the raw materials from Europe? You said you import them from Europe, not the US and what was the other continent?
It is Europe and Asia.
Yeah, and
North
Asia.
America also.
So why Europe?
Yeah, because they give quality raw materials. That is why we prefer them.
And what are these raw materials?
Those raw materials, those are potassium, phosphorus, and magnesium.
And it's not possible to obtain them locally?
No, it is not possible.
Why is that? I'm curious.
Yeah, we cannot get in Kenya because those are the special raw material. We cannot get it here.
Okay. Lawrence, has your yield increased by 40% since you started using Mafuno?
I cannot complain. I cannot complain. It has done a wonderful. More especially this time of poners. We have really enjoyed it. The yield has increased.
So you got a bonus?
Sorry?
You got a bonus?
We got it. No complaint, no complaint.
Good to hear that, Lawrence.
Yeah.
So it has translated to improved profitability for you. You are getting a return on your investment.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, how often do you use the fertilizer, Lawrence, and what does it involve?
Okay. Using fertilizer, it depends on the crop and the season, as I said. For example, now we are planning to plant for the other season. That's when we want to use it. Okay, for the first time we use Mafuno planting, then we do top dress after some months, like 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
And then for the tea, we normally do it after every 5 months.
Why every 5 months?
Because of the advice from the people on the ground, those agricultural extension officers. Yeah.
Okay, so perhaps James can tell us what the distinction is between the planting and the top dress. And is it the top dress that you use after every 5 months, Lawrence?
Sorry?
Is it the top dress that you use?
Depending on the kind of the crop you have grown.
Okay. So, James, what's the distinction between those two?
While planting, you need to have planting fertilizer so that you can enable the crop to grow strong, and also to enable it to observe its roots, to observe the water and the micronutrients present in the soil. When now it comes to top dressing, you have to top dress your crop when it is around 1 foot inch or near the knee for the farmer. That will enable the crop to grow fast and also to gain the chlorophyll, the green color of the plant.
Okay. So, Nicholas, I'll bring you in at this point. Do you consider Mafuno as contributing to the food security of Kenya, given it's the same parcel of land? You know how land is in a lot of demand. You mentioned that yourself at the start of this conversation. So, do you view Mafuno, the Mafuno blend as contributing towards food security in Kenya by increasing the yields for the same parcel of land?
Yeah, because our Mafuno fertilizer, after using Mafuno fertilizer, we guarantee a farmer that he will get 30 to 40% more yield. Yeah.
And do you guarantee them their money back if they do not get 30 to 40% more?
That is a must they will get. They will get. Our blend is of high quality.
So this is based on what? Market research?
We did market research. We have a team of institution. We have a government organization. We have international organization also. Yeah, after doing those research, we use their feedback to produce a quality fertilizer, that is Mafuno.
Okay. Do you farm yourself, Nicholas?
Yes, I'm a farmer.
What do you farm?
Potatoes and beans.
Potatoes and beans.
Yes.
So do you use different types of fertilizer now for those two crops?
Initially, I used to DAP, but once I knew the importance of the Mafuno fertilizer, I started using Mafuno fertilizer, and I can testify that I've kept the right yield, the right product. My product has increased.
Now, I'm asking,
gradually.
You've talked about it's the fertilizer being made crop specific and region specific, specific to the types of soils found in those regions. So now that you're planting two different crops, do you use the same Mafuno fertilizer for both of them? Both, you said beans and potatoes? Yes.
We use for cereals, we use Mafuno planting. But we have other crops like potatoes, which are root crops. We plant different fertilizer. We use different formulation.
James, why is it important to have these different formulations for the different types of crops?
It depends with the region and the area where you want to plant a specific crop. For example, what he's saying, if you're planting maize and green vegetables and tomatoes, you cannot use the same fertilizer at the same time. You have to divide your shamba portions, and you use different formulation according to the crop you need to do. Yeah.
Okay, so are you a farmer yourself, James?
Yes. I'm farming through my father, but when I joined the MMF, I have advised him on how to use the fertilizer. Before he was not using, he was just using the cow dung and those from the kitchens. But when I joined the MMF and found Mafuno fertilizer, I've advised him, especially on mango farming. He has been using the fertilizer for mangoes, and now he's doing well.
Okay. So did you undergo specialized training when you joined MMF?
No.
So how do you know so much about fertilizer if your father was using cow dung?
When I joined MMF, I was involved too much in how they are doing. So with the time I'm available there every time. Each formulation, when it's brought from different regions, I'm aware what to do. So training, I went training through the factory.
So okay, so on the job?
Yeah.
All right. So James, you said you farm what again? I didn't catch that.
Mangoes.
Oh yeah, mangoes. You said. Is it in Ukambani somewhere?
Sorry? Yeah, Ukambani. It's
Right.
from Ukambani, Makueni.
Okay. So where do you purchase your fertilizer?
From the company.
Oh yeah, from Athi River.
From Athi River.
So you have to go all the way to Athi River?
Me, I stay at the river, and once I'm going home, I usually purchase 1 or 2 bags, then I take to my father.
Okay. So is the Nicholas, I'll bring you in at this point. I know your region is Nyanza and the South Rift, but are farmers in Ukambani also able to go to NCPB depots to access Mafuno fertilizer?
Yes, yes, we do have countrywide. We do have our fertilizer in all National Cereals and Produce Board depots, and
Okay.
also KFA. We do have also at KNTC.
So you're able to distribute across the country?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so what is the situation? You said in February you're opening a warehouse?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so for what purpose? Is that to improve accessibility?
You see, we have those farmers who are in Nyanza region and also in North Rift and the entire Rift Valley and Western Kenya. We don't want them to travel so much all the way from Western to the river for them to access Mafuno fertilizer. So we are making them easier for them to access in Nakuru because they will travel a small distance.
Okay. Has COVID impacted your business?
Yes.
In what way?
Because most of the farmers who normally works, let's say those farmers who I'm not saying those workers who normally work, maybe their jobs is dominated. They are not getting enough finance to access the fertilizer. And now, also the field work. We are not in a position to do a field work, also demos because of the COVID. But we are hoping that it will end soon so that we can access to farmers and teach them on how important is Mafuno fertilizer.
Okay, so perhaps you can also tell us what type of support would you ask from government? Would you ask for from government?
What I can ask from the government is that maybe they buy our fertilizer so that they can. You see, those farmers, they are used to subsidized fertilizer. So I'm requesting them, maybe the government, maybe to buy from us so that because if they buy from us, a farmer can get at a lower price as a subsidy.
Okay. So subsidies would go a long way in helping boost the farmer. Yes.
Because once the government or the government of Kenya purchase from us, I know they will reduce a bit to the farmers. They will subsidize that fertilizer, and the farmer can get at an affordable price.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring you back in, James.
Yes.
What does World Soil Day mean to you?
World
Soil Day. Today is World Soil Day. What does the day mean to you? What significance is it to you?
I'm not getting that question.
Why is World Soil Day? Why is it important to raise this awareness around soil and soil protection and soil biodiversity when you talk about NPK and DAP? Why is this an important conversation to have? Perhaps you could help him, Nicholas?
Yeah, Nicholas.
Yeah, yes, Oliver. Celebrating World Soil Day is important to us also as Mafuno fertilizer, because we do produce a fertilizer which cannot erode the soil. It doesn't have any acid, and it is harmful to the soil also.
So it doesn't harm the organisms that live within the soil?
Yes, it doesn't have harm.
And why is it important to keep them in good health?
Our blend, our fertilizer is blended specifically not to harm the small organism which lives in the soil also. So that's why we normally produce NPK and not DAP. because it doesn't have, because acidity can kill those microorganisms in the soil.
So which way forward in terms of the business of fertilizer and technology?
Come up again?
Which way forward for the business?
We encourage each and every farmer, or we encourage our company to produce the quality and certified fertilizer, to continue producing that as per the research from the field. Yeah, we encourage them to continue producing the quality fertilizer.
Okay, so so based on the feedback you get from the farmer with the field work and your interactions at the exhibitions, do you also incorporate views from specialists, scientists?
Yes, we normally do. We normally get all the views from the scientists, from the institution, from the other organization like Ministry of Agriculture also. We get their views. And after getting those views, we give them the feedback.
All right. Perhaps, Lawrence, you could come in at that point. Do you, in terms of, do you plan on expanding your tea farm?
According to where I come from, I am not expecting to expand it. But I wish even to venture to another farming, like now doing farming of maize maybe elsewhere. And not in the case because we have a problem with the mashambas. Yeah.
So farming is good business?
Farming is good.
Where are you looking at expanding to grow maize?
Yeah, I'm doing it in Kuru. That's where I wish to do it. I got it favorable there.
Okay. So did you know about World Soil Day?
Yeah, I'm aware.
You're aware of it?
Yes.
Do you hold any significance, any importance as far as it's concerned? Did you hear about it before today, or is today the first day?
I always hear it because it's celebrated yearly. Yeah. So what I tell people is to make use of the proper use of soil and to do the control, like soil erosion. Yeah, let us celebrate this day, this soil together. Yeah.
All right. James, now, are you better? Did you learn about World Soil Day today?
Yeah, now I've learned. I've learned now.
You've learned about World Soil Day today.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So, Nicholas, I mean, you're of the mind, same as Lawrence, that it's important to have this conversation about soil health, so to speak.
Sorry?
Nicholas, you're of the same mind as Lawrence that it's important to have these conversations around soil health.
Yes.
All right. So NPK is a good one, DAP is not, because of acidity. I'm learning so much here today. All right. So, you know, what have you found as you go out and interact with farmers as the biggest mistake they make when they use fertilizer? The biggest mistakes they make. If you could advise them now, what would that advice be?
You see, most of the farmers, sometimes they intend to purchase a fertilizer which is not suitable to that region. Because, for example, you can find a farmer who purchases maybe Mafuno planting and using tea instead of Mafuno tea. We have Mafuno tea and Mafuno planting. Mafuno planting is for the cereals, and Mafuno tea is specifically for the tea. So I advise those farmers, because I understand there are some few farmers who normally combine Mafuno planting, that is for planting, and also the top dressing and use in tea. But I advise them to use the specific fertilizer which has been tested and certified by KEPS also. Okay.
All right. So, I mean, if they're not receiving those 30 to 40% increase in yields, not 30 to 40% increase in yields, it's probably because they're not using the product properly. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. They are not using the right fertilizer in their farm,
All right. Lawrence, what was the biggest lesson you had to learn as a farmer when you were using fertilizer?
The biggest lesson I can tell, okay, if I go back again, we have the challenges because not all farmers were learned. Some farmers, even they don't know how to do it, how to apply it. But what I urge this, the government or the companies is to come on the ground to the farmers and at least to educate on how to apply at the time of planting, of the pressing. You know, there's mixed reactions on the ground to farmers. So let us have those extension officers on the ground to farmers to teach and educate them how to use or how to apply the fertilizers.
Okay. Yeah. Nicholas, who are you, actually, before I come to you, James, you are saying they should read the instructions. Lawrence has raised that point of there are those who cannot read. How do you accommodate them?
We advise them to start reading from the packagings because it's widely printed and shown how to apply per hole, even per hectare.
Okay, so either they interact with your field officers or they get somebody who can help them make sense of the instructions on the back of the packaging to get the best out of the product. Nicholas, which farmers are your biggest clients? When you talk about cereals and planters, you know, and you mentioned top dressing, perhaps, was it for maize or for tea?
We top
Who are your biggest clients?
Our biggest clients are tea farmers and maize farmers also. We do have also wheat farmers and rice farmers.
So what markets are you looking to get into?
We are, next year, January, we are looking for the maize farmers because they are right now they are preparing their land to start planting on January, February. So we are looking to address their issue on January and February.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, James, I'll pose the same question I posed to Nicholas a bit earlier. When you're interacting with these farmers, ni makosa gani unapata, like your dad, you said your dad used to use droppings, chicken droppings and the like. What's the biggest mistake you found farmers make when you interact with them?
Sometimes farmers make mistakes of putting so much fertilizer in a particular plant. So they should not put more. There is a clearly indicated on how to use it. Like my father used to put some droppings near the stem. And you see the fertilizer is not supposed to be direct to the stem or direct to the seed. You have to put fertilizer first, then the seed, followed by a little bit of the soil. So by the time I teach them now, they have changed. Because previously the stem was looking as if it is withering. And the leaves had started turning yellowish. Because it was being spoiled by too much fertilizers on the stem.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point to note for those of us who haven't taken up farming yet. Nicholas, there are a lot of young people who are looking to get into the business of farming, you know, either as a side hustle because of the unpredictability of the job market or, you know, because people tell them there's a lot of profit in farming. As a parting shot, you perhaps could tell us what your advice would be to them.
What I can advise my young guys, my fellow young guys, is that farming is good, and it gives a lot of profit once you do it in the right way. Because I myself have experienced this. I've been in planting, I've been in farming for the last 3 years, and I've experienced that even without job, you can get something from the farm.
All right.
If you use the right, if you follow the right procedure and you use the right, maybe seedling and fertilizer, so you will never go wrong.
Does Mafuno qualify as an organic product?
Yes.
It does?
It does.
All right. I want to give each of you perhaps a minute each, you know, to give us your final sentiments this World Soil Day. I'll start with you, Lawrence. What's your parting shot? If you could leave the farmer, the consumer with any message in a minute, what would that message be?
Okay, my message to all Kenyans, not only farmers, let us protect our soil. Our soil is very important. It protects our plants. It helps us, in fact, our lives. So let us protect our soil. That's my message.
No, fantastic, good message and concise. James, what would your message be?
I would like to tell the farmers to use Mafuno fertilizer and compound, because blending plus compound is the way to go. And Mafuno fertilizer is a process of such.
Okay. What is compound, if you don't mind me asking?
Sorry?
What is compound?
Compound is the combination of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Aha.
Yeah.
NPK. If I'm getting I mean, when I leave the studio, the thing that will stay with me most definitely is NPK. And Nicholas, I'll leave you to have the final word.
To make my final remarks, what I can tell farmers is that we need to keep the soil alive, because soil is the main product of our food that we eat in our houses. And to manage that is that we use our fertilizer, that is Mafuno fertilizer, because it has a very high quality, and it proves that it will guarantee a farmer a 30% to 40%. And also, I urge the farmers that we keep the soil to avoid the erosion also.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it. It's World Soil Day. I should say goodbye and a happy World Soil Day.
Thank you.
Premium candles. It is made of pure, fully refined paraffin wax. It doesn't have smoke. It has long burning hours. It is non-drip. It doesn't smell.
Always smile and work with Sumo Candle from Rock Industries Limited. For inquiries, visit our offices at Ndume Road off Lungalunga Road, behind Carton Manufacturers near Sinai Stage. You can also talk to us through 0722 575 619.
Roofing Insights. When roofing, choose custom-made roofing mabati that saves up to 25% on off. Be KEBS certified and provide fast and free delivery countrywide. You can now enjoy our Christmas mega sales on all tile profile charcoal grey matte finish gauge 28 at only 645 shillings per meter. Visit any of our factory showrooms in Kitengela along Namanga roads or